Hey guys, what's up? I want to talk about a few things today. I won't even wait really for hi Tiffany. Um, I'm gonna play a video in the background. Guys, the future is for our children, right? Like we should be building a future that we can give to them, that they can grow, because the kids are our future. Wu-Tang even told you guys that. It's for children. like um so in thinking about that, and observing all the really weird shit that's going on that nobody wants to talk about and everybody wants to act like is not happening because I don't know, either they're getting paid or I don't really know. Um we don't even have the future to give to our children. We don't have our future, so how are we going to give them the future? We aren't even in control of anything here. Like what? So really weird shit's been happening with me with technological advancement. I'm a person. Now, I consciously merged some things because of a situation that was psyops ish. Not ish, it totally was. Um, in what I've gone through, I have a theory that star seeds um, have technological advancements that are being mined and used, and that they're connected with Bitcoin and these satellites. Now, I know this seems really far out there, and you guys are like, oh, that's so crazy. Did it? No. Do some research before you run your mouth, because I have. And not just research, I'm also going by experience. Um, there's something going on. So I'm going to play a video in the background. And the other day when they launched these satellites, it was really weird because I felt really weird. And then it came on my YouTube and it was just something fishy's going on, guys. And they're using us. We are literally being harnessed for our energy and our intelligence. We aren't controlling our abilities. I hate to tell you guys, but we're slaves. We've been under mind control for a long fucking time. And it's also involved with sex trafficking and human trafficking. And I'm talking all of the United States. Like, something's going on. Pay attention. I'm not fucking kidding. And this ties into angels, aliens, mythical creatures, and beings that maybe aren't so mythical. So I'm gonna play this video around. This is
program. And here is a tweet from the Third Row podcast sent on February 23rd. The U.S. Air Force used Link's first two test satellites to beam to terminals fixed to a military plane in flight, demonstrating internet speeds of 6 SVP Tim Hughes said. That's fast enough to download a movie in under a minute. Okay, so we're going to talk.
Now, if you look up internet, you will find there are studies it has done, and these people it has with ants. Sounds wild. So think biology, think viruses. We are a bunch of bacteria and viruses. That's what makes us. That's why your DNA is intelligent. Um, but anyways, so I found these people start running internet through people using ants and putting ants in their house. It's I don't fully understand it. I did kind of a lot of looking into it. And I found they'll give away the stuff for free for somebody to go do this to a person. So essentially the ants, think ant antenna. I know this sounds far off, guys, but it's all about like language. Spelling is witchcraft, is casting. So, but there's more to it because it's on more than one level. We have, mental, physical, emotional, etherical. We have different levels of our body. So before you automatically think like this bitch is crazy, because crazy, but I'm not crazy. Do some research because I'm onto something. I could be mixed up about what I'm saying, but the point is we're being manipulated, and it's there's too much proof. Like I have so much proof. Um, it we got to do something, guys. So, anyways, I'm gonna play the video again.
Talk a little bit about this Starlink program, which sounds a lot like Skynet, but it's not. It's not the same thing. Skynet was something completely different. This is Starlink, and that was Skynet. Totally different programs. Anyway, let's get a little bit of information from Real Engineering's YouTube page, where they explain a little bit about this Starlink program.
On the 24th of May, rocket filled with 60 satellites in space. This marked the beginning of their ambitious new project called Starlink, which aims to provide high-quality broadband internet to the most isolated parts of the planet, while also providing low-latency connectivity to already well-connected cities. SpaceX aimed to make their broadband accessible as possible, claiming that anyone will be able to connect to their network if they buy the pizza box-sized antenna, which SpaceX is developing themselves. This launch of 60 satellites was just the first of many. SpaceX has 12,000 satellites planned for launch over the next decade, dramatically increasing the total amount of spacecraft around Earth's orbit. Each satellite can cover a circular area with a radius of 500 kilometers. At SpaceX's originally planned orbit, this coverage had a radius of 1,060 kilometers. Lowering the altitude of a satellite decreases the area it can cover, but also decreases the latency. This is particularly noticeable for typical communication satellites operating in geostationary orbit at an altitude of 36,000 kilometers. The time it takes data to travel up to the satellite and back down, traveling at the speed of light, is around 240 milliseconds, 369% slower than our subsea cable. However, since Starlink is intending to operate at a much lower altitude, the up and downlink theoretical latency could be as low as 3.6 milliseconds. This is why SpaceX needs so many satellites in their constellation in order to provide worldwide coverage. Let's look at SpaceX's proposed constellation to see how this will work. SpaceX's first phase of 1,584 satellites will occupy 24 orbital planes, with 66 satellites in each plane inclined at 53 degrees. If everything goes to plan, Starlink is estimated to generate 30 billion to 50 billion revenue each year on the back of premium stock exchange memberships, demolishing their current annual revenue of around 3 billion. And this is a vital part of Elon Musk's long-term goals. The money generated from Starlink will mean SpaceX will have vastly more funding than NASA, which could go on to fund research and development of new rockets and the technologies needed to monetize lunar and Martian colonies.
Alright, so I will leave you the link to the full video down below. You did a great job explaining this Skynet. I'm sorry, I need to say Starlink satellite system, which SpaceX stands to make a grip of cash off of, like the video said, a budget even bigger than NASA, which is something that we probably should be talking about. But it looks like, regardless of how you feel about the health effects or the security ramifications of this system, it looks to me like this is going to be a massive 5G rollout. And we see already the FCC has already approved a couple of these rollouts. You are looking at a video from about 8 months ago. As you can see, there's a little trail of satellites right there. These seem to be smaller satellites that will burn up upon re-entry. I think they're kind of like reusable, but they use thousands. That's the whole plan. Thousands of these smaller satellites which will be hovering at a much lower orbit to reduce latency. And of course, because they're smaller, they have a smaller range, and that's the need for the thousands of satellites. So it's a little bit creepy stuff. And I gotta say, you know, we already have a lot of great information in regards to 4G technology, which isn't necessarily healthy either, is it? But it seems to operate our phones and our computers. Our internet service provider will really be what creates the difference in your own internet speeds or latency and whatnot. But the way this is all being sold to us is that this is going to offer high-speed internet all across the planet. Now, is that exactly what we really need? Is there really more to this? It seems like there would be. Now, I want to take you to this article from the other day. It's from the 21st from investors.com. SpaceX Starlink satellites will play a major role in an Air Force live fire exercise in April, and a Virgin Galactic sister company is in talks to potentially join in as well. In December, the Air Force tested its experimental advanced battle management system that will connect air, sea, land, and space assets. The exercise was deemed an overall success, with SpaceX Starlink satellites used to link to a Lockheed Martin AC-130 gunship. The next step, the Air Force's April 8th event is going to be massive. So a massive event on April 8th. Air Force Acquisition Chief William Roper told reporters at the Pentagon Friday, the SpaceX Starlink satellites will play an even bigger role than in December, as Roper wants them to connect to more Space has been a great industry partner for us, he said. They are very excited. I bet they are. And we are excited to learn more about their satellites through the demonstration. The exercise will include live fire drills, such as taking down a UAV and shooting down a cruise missile. Okay, well, that doesn't sound at all like just high-speed internet, does it? They will be performed across the country, from Marine Corps Air Station Yuma in Arizona to Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. SpaceX Starlink may not be the only commercial space provider in the exercises. Roper said that he is in discussions with Virgin Orbit, the privately held sister company of Virgin Galactic, to participate with its Launcher One to provide on-demand launches. Virgin Orbit is dedicated to launching small satellites via its Launcher One rocket, which is launched in midair off a modified Boeing 747 jumbo jet. Now let me skip you down just a little further here. SpaceX, founded by Tesla CEO Elon Musk, has said it needs 400 Starlink satellites for minor broadband internet coverage and 800 for moderate coverage. The company eventually plans to deploy over 40,000 satellites, and keep in mind, low-flying satellites, to offer space-based internet service. SpaceX launched its latest batch of Starlink satellites on Monday, bringing the total number of satellites in orbit to over 300. Okay, so whether you love this, hate this, are unsure or indifferent, or somewhere in between, this appears to be going down in a very big way, like they said, massive. And it remains to be seen how massive this April 8th event is really going to be. But I imagine it really truly is going to be huge. Now, this doesn't just suggest to me a massive 5G rollout. Given the Air Force's involvement, I imagine this is also a Space Force rollout, right? After all, so much of this is in their wheelhouse. Now, there's a lot of moving parts here, good and bad. And it's really, really hard to kind of wrap my head around, because it has long-term implications that we don't really truly understand just yet. Now, you could argue that much of this is in defensive posture in relation to China's global ambitions. China has been going after this kind of thing for quite some time. As a matter of fact, they kind of have the jump on everybody. And a lot of our American top brass has been mentioning this over the last few years, particularly since President Trump got into office. And of course, President Trump has made it a priority or not, to make sure that Space Force was a big priority. So whether you like it or not, this is essentially going down. Now, there are other implications, of course. The health implications of 5G technology, of which I am not an expert on, but it seems to me like a lot of the science that's out there that's being offered to us suggests that it's not very beneficial to humans, right? Now, I don't really know the truth of that, and I'm not really interested in debating about that, but I do think it is something that we should be talking about. And given the fact that the mainstream media is not talking about it, suggests to me that we should be talking about But of course, I make the joke about Skynet.
He's got the right idea.
Which, of course, is the famous global security system that was in the Terminator movies. But this is very much Skynet-ish, right? Starlink, Skynet. This is essentially what we're looking at. And like I suggested in earlier.
Dude. You know, last night I'm talking to somebody and they're like, everything you talk about is just in the movies. Well, I don't fucking watch movies, number one, and I don't hang out with many people who do. So for people to say something like that, it's like, that's kind of the point. They have to tell you what they're doing to you because it's universal law. Literally. Like, and I don't fully get whatever is that's going on, but it's fucked. I'm not okay with it. Not at all. I really hope that you guys aren't either. Like, anyways.
In the video, this looks to me like a massive neural link going across the globe. And of course, this is going to involve so much AI technology that we barely have a grasp of right now. So it's really difficult for me to talk about, not being much of a tech guy. But I don't think it takes a genius to see that this has some really
I can show you a website where you can actually look up the chemtrails and what was dropped over your house on what day and what was in the nanoparticles that were in those chemtrails. Like specifics. I looked up and I found there was bug eggs and mantid I found shit. Lots of it. Lots and lots and lots of it. And I've sent lots of it to many people, which is probably the only reason I'm still alive, because I know too much and I like to tell everybody because it's not right. It's not right at all for, you know, a ruling class of, you know, 2% to have all the money and all the information and use it against everybody and use them as their slaves. Fuck that. Like, no, I'm not having it. I'm not okay with it. And I'll stand my ground with that forever. Anyways, back to the video.
Big implications and ramifications that are going to last decades to come. Now, moving on to our next story. If you are following QAnon, you'll know that QAnon has referenced the term D5 quite a few different times, and we have picked up on this and have analyzed this term quite a few times and found quite a few different results, right? From the avalanche to the chess move to the name Donald Trump itself. The point that we could be talking about, and I want to extend one today. This is in regards to an article from Hamodia.com from the 20th. Gantz on Fifth Dimension investigation. Nothing to see here. That also sounds familiar, doesn't it? In his first public comments on an investigation into the activities of the high-tech company he managed until its bankruptcy, Blue and White head Benny Gantz said that the fact that an investigation was set to take place did not bother him. I am perfectly calm, Gantz told Rashad Bet Thursday. There was nothing wrong with the way I managed the company. The investigation is due to political pressure on the state attorney. I welcome any investigation. I am positive that I have nothing to hide. Gantz was responding to reports Wednesday that State Attorney Avicii Mandelblit had authorized the investigation into possible illegal activities by the Fifth Dimension, Hamimad Hachamashi tech firm. The investigation will focus on the period that Gantz was the CEO of the company. Documents revealed that Israel Hayom last month show that Israel police purchased an artificial intelligence system from Fifth Dimension. The purchase was made without a tender, ignoring strictures of the Public Security Ministry, which supervises the activities of the police and specifically requires contracts of NIS being shekels, 50 million shekels or more, through the ministry's financial department. The police ignored that requirement and made the deal with the company, the documents show. The documents intensify the questions that have surrounded the relationship between police and the company led by Gantz through the end of 2018 when it went bankrupt. Last March, a report by the state controller focused on similar issues with police signing contracts with...
Okay, like, our government is supposed to be something that is for us. Our government is supposed to be serving us, protecting us, and, you know, helping us evolve, I would think. Like, why is it that our government instead has turned not only America into the biggest prison population, but Ohio? Something, I don't know these specific words that, the elite use or whatever, but we we have so many people just in Ohio. It's like the hugest prison complex. I believe that it's because of the crystal beds that we're on and because of the grids. And I mean, Ohio has a lot of alien activity. Ohio has a lot of stars. Like, think about all the, like, the people who, like, the stars. And then think about that, guys. Like, so stars, people who become famous, so they all of a sudden, they can dance well, they can sing well, they have their body, like they can use their, it's almost like something's controlling people until a certain point, and then they become in control of their body, their mind, and they can fully express. And I believe it has something to do with like your neurological pathways, using all of your brain. As a collective, we only use what, 10 to like 15% of our brain. I believe it's more than that now because of these technological advancements or divine DNA activation. There's more than one thing going on here. Um, and we should have been, evolved much farther past what we are at this point. Like, there's already been civilizations that were farther civilized than we are. Like, and they're not as long ago as we think they are either. And the earth has been here way longer than we think as well. So it's like a big fucking muck. It's like, when you start realizing these things for yourself, if you do like some self uh searching, like, you can't trust what we learned in school, guys. You really can't. Tell me, never mind, I don't want to start that argument because I don't want to argue with anybody. I don't want to be like as combative as I am, but I just, you know, so I can know all these things for myself and great, and like sit here and whatever and not say anything. What good is that gonna do? What, then I just buy in and I act like all the like fucks who only care about money and greed and don't care humanity and people. I can't do that. Like, I'm for the underdog all day, every day. Like, it's not right. I don't like manipulative tactics. Now, don't get me wrong. I use manipulative tactics to like awaken people, and it might not be the best way, but it works, and you can thank me later. Like, I don't know, but using people for someone's advancement and then letting the people like just suffer, and like I can't even fathom that. I I don't know how these people sleep at night. Are they people? Like, not really sure, but something is not right. And because that's all I fucking ever do. Um, guys, I literally devoted my life to researching. I've not been selling clothes. I have not been worrying about bills. Like, yesterday, I left my house for a while and I kind of took a little break, but it's all I think about. Like, and the fact that my brain is just like like going. Guys, I was fucking chipped. Here this whole time, I thought it was a listening device. And somebody was like, oh yeah, you told me about the thing that you found. You found two of them. This was in 2011. I didn't realize it was a chip. Like, this whole time, I thought it was a fucking listening device. I wonder how many of us were chipped. I wonder what this chip means. It's the mark of the beast. But that's why maybe I'm so smart now. Heard it. Guys, there's a lot to be fucking thinking about here. There's a lot of stuff going on, and they've found tons and tons and tons of implants in people. I can show you specifically where implants are in me. And, you know, the nano and these implants, they have a radioactive signature, so there's many ways to detect them, and I've done that. I have videos, I have pictures, I have all kinds of stuff. This is deep, and so deep it even goes into the deep state. Like, I want to spew so much stuff that, like, I probably shouldn't, because, you know, I don't want people to panic or anything, but hey guys, wake up. There's a whole lot of people that are aware of this stuff already. There's many groups of people talking about it. You can find them. I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. And I'm not going to be like a fucking zombie, work, eat, sleep, fuck, and do it all over again for the man so that you can make someone else's dream come true. Fuck that. I didn't come here. I'm not alive here to make the elite's dream come true and me just fucking suffer or be used. And I damn sure hope you aren't either. So, love you guys. I don't mean to be combative or rude or anything, but wake the fuck up, please. Because I love you, and we aren't even controlling our future, let alone able to be children. So if you're okay with making babies to become someone else's slaves, I don't know what's wrong with you. You're probably like my mother, and that's why this is so important to me, because my family, their genetics have been targeted, and this shit has gone on, and because of it, I don't have a family. And my family cares more about money than my humanity, me, my life, my alien me, whatever the fuck I am. And I know that there's a lot of other people going through the same exact thing. It's all tied together. I'm fucking sick of it. Wake up. Help me out, guys. Got any information? You want to talk about this? You want to get together? You want to do some research? You want to, link our mind there and figure out how to stop it? Let's do it. Like, does anybody care? Anybody? Like, anyone? Let me know, because I don't understand how so many people can just fucking not pay attention. I really don't. And it's like, we're smart enough to have control of not only our future but our present, and like, we're slowly just fucking mummy zombie like, it's soon gonna be too late. Really. Like, they are using us against ourselves. Yeah, that's what they're doing. I guess. Pay attention. It's happening. This is a new era. Like, we're supposed to be taking back over. We're supposed to be building our own government that works for us and not against us. You know, your birth certificate was a bond. They took the money from your bond and they made corporations with it. Those corporations are the ones that you pay your bills and your everything. Those corporations that you pay shit to every month were made with your fucking money. That's real. That happened. And now we're technologically advancing to this because America had deals with aliens and had alien genetics. So what does that mean, that fucking China owns the Starseeds or something? Like, what does that mean? Put 2 and 2 together, guys. It all is connected. I'm going to get off of here because I'm just going to rant about how nobody cares. And I want to think that you guys care. And I hope to get some responses and know that you do. If not, then whatever.